So, Kelly,
Hey, Alex, how are you?
today my dead end took me all the way to Austin, Texas, where I'm joining you from the luxurious Dirt Nap City studios.
I know. I really like what we've done with the place, the decor, the vibe, the lighting. I mean, it's all on point.
This is great. And we socialized last night.
We did.
So, for those of you who don't know, probably 90% of the conversations that Kelly and I have had in the past 2 years, you've heard. They've been archived, and we don't hang out. We don't talk much outside of this show. And we were able to go out. We drank some alcohol. We went to a comedy show, and we went to a nightclub where the DJ was spinning,
Popping off.
Yeah, we didn't get in any fights.
Nope.
It was all in all a successful evening, don't you think?
It was fantastic. And we saw Shang Wang, who's a comedian and was very, very funny. And I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out Shang Wang's, what is it, Netflix special called, what's it called?
Sweet and Juicy.
Sweet and Juicy. So if you want to laugh about ordinary stuff that you wouldn't think would be funny but was hilarious, then...
Yeah, I'd call him an observational comic, but younger than us.
He's in his 40s, I think.
Yeah, in early 40s, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I consider myself an observational podcaster.
Oh, is that right? What are you observing right now?
Well, I'm observing that you and I are looking at each other,
Yeah.
and not through a camera this time. Mm-hmm. I'm observing that Chris is mixing us and making us sound good and look good. And I'm observing that we're both wearing orange.
Yeah, we're headed to a Texas Longhorn football game later today.
Yep.
But enough about us.
Enough about us.
Today, I might have the mother of all dead ends, the icon for things that don't exist anymore.
Ooh, that's a big statement.
Right. I think that it's a shorthand when you talk about something about to be not existing anymore, about to go extinct. You invoke this thing. You want to try to guess? We don't usually try to guess on these, but
Dinosaurs?
No, close. The dodo bird.
I think people, the saying is they went the way of the dodo.
The way of the dodo. That's exactly right. It means
which is not a kung fu thing or a martial arts thing.
It's not dojo.
Right.
It's the dodo.
Okay. It's not doo-doo.
No. And I'll talk a little bit about the etymology of the dodo also. But
wow.
So dodo birds haven't been around since like the 1600s.
Okay.
But you can probably picture one in your head, right?
I think they have long legs, kind of stork-like, and they lay giant eggs, and they have like a kind of wide body and a long neck. And they don't fly?
They don't fly. That's the big one. They don't fly. I don't think their legs are as long as you might imagine. They have a big beak, though.
Okay.
A big beak. So they were only native to one little island called Mauritius. You heard Mauritius?
You know what? I have a good friend and a fan of this podcast named Richard, who has been to Mauritius, told me it was one of the most beautiful places he's ever been. And other than him telling me about it, I'd never heard of it before.
It's east of Madagascar. You know where Madagascar is? It's like an island east of Africa.
Okay.
And then, so Mauritius is just east of that. And they're flightless, and they don't need to fly because there was a lot of food on the island and no predators.
Wow.
So what's the point of flying? All their food is right on the ground. They're actually the same family as pigeons and doves.
How big are they?
About 2 feet tall and weighing about 30 pounds.
Oh, so they're big birds.
Big fat birds.
Yeah, okay. That's
when
what
I say
thought.
Pigeons and doves, they're related to that, but they're not like the ones that you see in New York. And the closest living relative is the Nicobar pigeon, which is beautiful. Like, it does not look like those are around now, and they have this beautiful blue head. The head is completely blue, and then the body is green. I'm not much of a bird guy, but if I was, that would be my bird. I love those things.
So wasn't Nikola Tesla in love with a pigeon?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was that type of pigeon.
It was called, and it's called Nicobar. So maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I would be in love with that kind of pigeon.
Okay. Do those still
beautiful.
exist?
Yeah. That's the closest living relative to the dodo bird.
The Nicobar pigeon.
So obviously, we don't have any photographs of what the dodo bird looked like. We've only seen drawing and paintings, but it's also not as old as dinosaurs. We're talking about the 17th century.
Yeah, 400 or 500 years ago.
Back when all those sailors that you like to talk about were sailing around the world, the Dutch sailors and the Portuguese
pirates.
sailors. Oh yeah, all those guys. So they were kind of brownish gray, we think, based on the writings of these sailors. They had like a naked head and a black, yellow, and green beak.
Okay.
And then the Dutch sailors used to hunt them. You can imagine being hungry and you come up on this island, there's these birds.
It's like a turkey.
Yeah. So people started writing about it in the late 1500s. And then the last time anybody ever reported seeing was in 1662.
Wow.
So that's only like it's not even 70-year period where people are talking about these birds. And some thought they were a myth because they were just so different than everything else. They were big. And now we do have a skull. I mean, I don't have a skull, but a museum.
Where there's a skull of a dodo?
Yeah. And they had a dried head. And every now and then they find material on that island that might have been dodo bird, fossil material.
Okay.
But we don't know a lot about that other than what the sailors say about them. Now, the original name, the Dutch name, and I love a good Dutch name.
Yeah. All those extra consonants and vowels they throw in there.
Now, the dodo, I think, as you'll see here, have been kind of dumped on, made fun of, they're unnecessarily. But so the original name was Vogvogel. Vogvogel. And from the word Vog meaning tasteless or sickly, and Vogel meaning bird.
Yeah. That is German as well.
Sure.
Vogel.
Sure. So it's like a tasteless bird, Vogvogel.
Okay.
And
it's like a tasteless joke.
So it was translated to German as Volstock.
Volkstock. Okay.
And the Portuguese used to call them penguins. They call them pignon, means small wings, and I think that's kind of what the penguin. So I don't know. There was a translation thing there. They think that the word dodo probably came from the Dutch word dodor, which means sluggard, or dodors, which means fat arsed.
Dodors. You sluggard. You fatterst sluggard.
It's just mean. It's mean. They're calling them like tasteless. First of all, they're not trying to be eaten in the first place. So don't insult them by eating them and then saying, I don't even like these things.
They probably taste like chicken.
I'm sure they did. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know if they knew what chicken tasted like.
No. Yeah.
Really? I mean, they're just eating whatever they can get their hands on. Those
chickens.
things, right?
Chickens are also flightless birds, though.
Right. Sometimes. Yeah. Are they always flightless?
Yeah, I don't think chickens. I think they can kind of like glide a little bit, but they can't get off the ground.
If you were about to catch one, I think it flies away.
Well, it sort of
like 3 feet away.
Yeah. It kind of hops and uses its wings.
I think they're hard to catch, though.
Chickens?
Have you ever done that?
I used to have a chicken. I used to have a chicken named Bucky Boo. Bucky Boo Shores, and Bucky Boo
had a last name.
Bucky Boo laid a giant egg that was in the Pasadena Citizen when we lived in Pasadena, Texas, and it was 7.5 inches around, and a triple yolk.
Was that the goal, to get like the biggest egg you could?
We didn't do anything. The chicken just did it. The chicken laid giant eggs. It had a diet of dog food and cockroaches, and I think that's what really made it able to lay those big eggs.
That probably made it tasteless.
No, the eggs were fantastic.
No, I mean the chicken.
Oh, yeah, we never ate the chicken. The chicken ended up. Chicken, unfortunately, I think a chicken hawk got to it, and it ended up dying.
That's called the circle of life.
Yes. It's buried somewhere in Huffman, Texas right now.
So there was a guy, Sir Thomas Herbert, that wrote about dodos in 1634, and he was a sailor, and he claimed that the Portuguese called them dodos. And the Portuguese word for fool is doido.
Doido, okay.
And some say that the call of the bird, a lot of birds are named after their call, and
like a whippoorwill.
Whippoorwill. They say the call was doo doo Dodo, or maybe Dodo. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
So there's actually a genus, and I'm not going to get into the whole,
Species and genus and
classification, but there's a genus called Detus ineptus that was invented in 1766, which means inept dodo. It's just so rude, isn't it? It just seems.
Well, it's descriptive. It kind of. I'm sure the bird, when it was on its own, did just fine. But when you observed it as an outsider, because most birds can fly, most birds probably do have predators, so they have to be able to defend themselves. Most birds probably were afraid of people because they knew better. These birds on an isolated island probably weren't afraid of people. They just walk right up to you, and you grab it by the neck and wring its neck and then pluck its feathers and then put it on the spittle.
But we assign human qualities and calling it lazy and stupid and, when actually it's living its best life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So nowadays, a dodo is a slang for a stupid person.
Yeah.
And they were saying these birds were stupid because they were easily caught.
Okay.
And like you said, to go the way of the dodo means you're about to be extinct.
Yeah.
You know what really got the dodo, the dodo on the map was Alice in Wonderland. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland came out in 1865, and there's a character in that book that's the dodo bird.
Okay.
And that's how it kind of got into the mainstream. And
otherwise, we would have forgotten about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But in Mauritius, they don't let you forget about it. They're very proud of the dodo, even though it doesn't exist anymore. It's on their coat of arms. It's on their coins. It's on their rupees, their paper money. Like the watermark has the dodo. And then if you go there and fill out the immigration form, it's like watermarked on the back of the
dodo is.
Yeah, they're very proud of the dodo.
Wow.
So I'll end this with a poem.
Okay.
And this is from an obscure book by Hilaire Belloc called Bad Child's Book of Beasts.
Okay. Bad child, not a good child.
Right. This is to read to bad kids. It's like scare them. It's a monster book, and you read about these beasts, and it's supposed to get them in line. It came out in 1896. And it's a bad poem, too. It's not a good poem.
But it's not AI. It was written by a real person.
You know why it's not AI? Because it's not intelligent. Like, it's not. This is a bad poem.
It's authentic and human. It's AH.
The dodo used to walk around and take the sun and air. The sun yet warms his native ground. The dodo is not there. The voice which used to squawk and squeak is now forever dumb. Yet may you see his bones and beak all in the museum.
That's awesome. I think we should set that to music.
The dodo used to walk around and take the sun and air. The sun yet warms his native ground. The dodo is not there. The voice which used to squawk and squeak is now forever dumb. Yet may you see his bones and beak all in the museum.